Hi, this is Chuck Sachs from Indie Opera Podcast, and I'm at the Joslin Museum with Julia Noulin-Merat, who is the designer, creator of the set for Playground, which is a piece used for Ellen Reid's composition. Hi, how are you doing today?
Oh, great.
So, when did this all start? When was this gleam in your or Ellen's eye?
So it's been in Ellen's mind for quite, I want to say probably like 10 years. And when an Opera Omaha approached her about doing a project for the series, she pitched them this idea of making a musical playground. And I was introduced to her in May, and kind of in July we worked off a rough sketch that she was thinking of things, and then we kind of like started talking about like what does it look like, what do we want it to feel like, and then we had the amazing opportunity in December. We did a 1-week workshop where we tried all kinds of polluting materials, is what I like to call, and we made a lot of discoveries and we cut a lot of elements. And then what happened was we kind of like went to an art shop studio in Brooklyn, actually, where we were tuning everything. So we had to tune mufflers and tailpipes and everything, right? It's really nice.
It sounds like a John Cage or
Yeah.
the guy who does all the crazy faux Bach music.
Yeah. And also at that workshop, what was amazing is we had our poet with us, so Zachary Drucker, and we had 2 members of ICE, so Ross and Clara, and then we had our singer Naomi. So we really had the entire group, from the get-go to kind of help create, run,
and just play.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
But was that a short amount of time for, in a sense, creating something of this size for you? I mean, it's less than
It's
like
less
9
than a year,
months.
Yeah. I think because Ellen had very specific thoughts of what she wanted, and we had like what I like to call a plan of attack. I think it felt like a very comfortable time frame. But it was tricky because we didn't assemble the whole thing until we got to the Joslin. So again, more surprises and discoveries. Yeah.
And retuning.
Yes, absolutely. We had to retune.
And how does one tune some of these pieces here? I mean, tell us, all the pieces that are or some of the pieces that are in here.
Absolutely. That's a great question. So one of the things we have in the piece are these oil drums with aircraft cables and little pieces of plexi. And so that's something we can only tune on site. So we had to adjust all the tension and all that. The tailpipes were done in New York. So we would cut each little tailpipe a little bit, listen to it, and then
so there's a kind of acting as chime,
yes,
hanging chimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of testing. Like for example, we had the helium tanks. We cut out tongues out of them, which was cool. But I got a little overzealous and then had it all cut, and then we realized it completely killed the sound. So there's also you have to be flexible in that sense of the discovery. Yeah.
Yes, but then the swings.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
It's like I know the tire swing is like a variety of things.
Yes, absolutely. So the tire swing is composed that inside of it there's an ocean drum. So there's glass beads. But we thought it would be really interesting for people to be able to look into it. So that's why there's a plexi top. And at the bottom you have chains with super balls. And what those super balls do is they rub against another oil drum that is embedded into the platforming. So it has this very soothing sound. It's one of my favorite instruments there.
That is, so is this typical of the work you do, or?
No, but I also think like I do all sorts of works. I do works on stage and I do installations. So this is why I love my job. I get to do all kinds of explorations. Yeah. And
you get the great joy of seeing children play all over it.
Yeah, this has been incredibly rewarding because you get to see babies on it and you get to see great-grandmothers on it. So it's amazing. It's really a full spectrum of age groups.
And it's presenting them that you can actually make music from almost anything if you want.
Absolutely.
And to go and try that.
Yes, absolutely. And part of the reason why it's all monochromatic right now and it's chrome, one, we wanted it to feel like a jewel and special, but also we wanted that element of discovery you're mentioning, so that when people approach it, they're like, oh, that's actually a bike wheel, or things like that, motorbike wheel. Yeah.
Right. It keeps the visual stimuli
Exactly.
focused to the piece,
Yeah.
what they're going to play on, as opposed to look at all these colors and everything like that.
Yeah, which is really great. When we did the workshop, we had the natural colors of everything, and that was not interesting to us, but it was very helpful to kind of figure out what the sounds were. Yeah. But then we have, so what I love about this is that it has two elements to it, right? So there are everybody who comes to see the installation, they get to activate it, and then there's actually the performance of Run on the playground, which is great. So then you get two
right, and I mean, I know the singer was using
tailpipe.
Tailpipe. That was tailpipe.
Yeah.
But also there are other points. I mean, there's the point when she's singing into the slide tube. And so it's kind of using modulation, but also natural amplification.
Absolutely. So that was one of the things we discussed. There was nothing that was no microphones, no nothing.
So this has been here since about
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and it's another week or
no, it actually is going to close this weekend, so this is the last of it, but it is also going to be, so we're going to tour it, and it's going to go in different cities, and we are still talking about what's its next up. We're going to do a performance of it this entire summer in Omaha, and then it'll go in different cities, which is very exciting.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's amazing that it was made in Omaha for Omaha, and that it gets to go out and be experienced by other people. So,
well, thank you. It was I love the experience, and it's been wonderful talking to you.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.